In 1992, Probe Software developed the Terminator for the Sega Genesis. It was published by Virgin Games and was based on the classic sci-fi film by James Cameron. It featured a story of a time-traveling soldier trying to save the future from an evil artificial intelligence hell-bent on the extermination of the human race. It wasn't a bad licensed game in all honesty. It had moments of great stage design, and the audio and visual presentation were solid. It was programmed by Dave Perry of Aladdin fame, and the music was done by the venerable Matt Furness. When I first read about Virgin Games doing a port to the Sega CD, I wasn't very interested. I had already played this game, and all too often these ports were simple cartridge games with full motion video and CD soundtracks added. But what we ended up getting wasn't a port at all. It was an entirely new game that I fell in love with the moment I first played it. You'll notice a bunch of things when you first fire up the Terminator for the Sega CD, but the gameplay will likely strike you the most. This is an unapologetically fast-moving run and gun, and it keeps the action constant without fail. There are Terminators and all other manner of Skynet killing machines scattered throughout the level, and just like the movie, they will not stop until you are dead. While you battle your way across a ruined future, you find power-ups for your weapons and armor that affect your rate of fire and how much damage you can take. You have a stash of grenades for the more powerful enemies, and your weapons change up level to level. As you get deeper in, the run and gun gameplay starts to get platform heavy here and there. You'll be jumping across buildings and construction sites before making your way through nightclubs and police stations. You'll fight a pretty wild variety of enemies too. In the future, it's the robots that are out for blood, but in the past, every street thug in the city is out to whoop your ass. Overall, it's a strong variety of play areas and characters you get to battle against, and your hero is fast, responsive, and has the tools to get the job done. It's quite a bit different from the older cartridge release on the Genesis, and at a time when developers just slapped video sequences and music on this type of software, I absolutely loved it for that. Another area that saw a major change were the visuals. The main dude, the stage design, the enemies, the animation, it's all been redone extensively. The stages set in the future are suitably bleak, almost alien when compared to the familiar cityscapes of the middle game. The movie was respected here in all the design choices of Skynet's toys, and each setting represents something that was either directly in the movie or at least hinted at. From a purely technical perspective, it's a step above most of the games you saw on cartridge at that point. Every sprite is animated extremely well, and the levels are painted with additional details like smoke, detailed foreground and background layers, and an impressive variety in every piece of the visual presentation that surrounds them. You are basically starting out in a desolate future battleground, then going into the enemy base, then across a few more different areas based in the past. Yet everything looks very different and has its own look and atmosphere. Despite being a rather serious and dreary game, it also has a surprising amount of color. Some stages are lit up with color and stand as a great contrast to the darker, more mechanical levels in the beginning. All in all, it's an excellent visual package. It's got the bump and variety and animation you expect from a CD title, and the detail of a well-designed 16-bit AAA product. If I had to level a serious complaint against anything, it's the atrocious full-motion video segments. They are colorless and yet somehow remain a muddy mess that you can barely tell what's going on. This is really head-scratching considering it's in such a small window. There are full-color, full-screen, full-motion video games on the Sega CD that murder what you see here. Perhaps not so surprising is the music. Being on CD, you expect a certain level of quality, but Virgin got Tommy Tallarico to do the stuff you have here, and every track is worthy of ripping to your phone. You get the classic Terminator theme at the opening, but then it's all 80s style rock and techno inspired stuff that just fits the game like a glove. It's funky, nostalgic, and cool all rolled up into one presentation that makes this standout title all the better. I have always found the sound section of these reviews difficult to do because any voiceover drowns out what I'm trying to share with you. So I'm gonna shut up now and play a few pieces for your enjoyment. One of the great things about the Terminator for the Sega CD was the fact that Virgin Games actually made a different game from the cartridge release. This was not the norm at the time. Most of what we got on the platform were gussied up ports of games we already had access to. The fact that this changed up the gameplay, graphics, and sound really added something special to its appeal. Rumor around the campfire suggests that the original Terminator game for the Genesis actually went through an incredibly short development cycle, resulting in numerous original concepts and assets being left on the cutting room floor. It has been suggested that the Sega CD version I covered here is actually a more mature product of that original vision. Dave Perry, programmer of the cartridge version, is even shouted out in the credits for the original design. And you know, that really is an important part of gaming that I think we can all learn something from. Rarely is every game created equally. Time, budget, and expectation is often so different that the end product is rarely everything the developer wanted to do. I have no doubt that the original team on the Genesis version did the very best they could with what they had, but it was really awesome to get this exclusive Sega CD version as well. It's one of the platform's better games and a rare licensed effort that did its source material justice. I'm Sega Lord X. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.